Hi, welcome to another Roboflow training movie. In this movie, I will be talking about a hot collection workflow that looks for records to upload to an FTP site. I prepared the workflow. It's a hot collection, so it's processing a list of records. And the records I'm going to process are coming from the sample catalog, and I added a query that says process everything that has status new. Then in the workflow action, I first will pick up the file because maybe your file is vaulted, and of course you cannot upload to an FTP site from inside your vault. So the first thing I do is I store a target folder. I'm using a temporary folder, which is my application folder / logs, which is basically this folder. And then I say create if it doesn't exist, and I have a folder I can copy to. Then I'm performing a Cumulus file action, which is copy asset from record. Mind you, this example movie only works in Cumulus 9.2 because copy asset from record is a new action from Cumulus 9.2. And I'm copying from the current record called hot in Roboflow to the target folder. I'm using the standard asset handling set, or I could also use whatever you stored up front in the global parameters. There is a little trick to go and find the parameters that you can use. If you click 2 hashes slowly, it will pop up with this new this new drop down box, and this will give you all the tags from the global, give you the tags from your parameters from this workflow, and any other tags that were created in this script. So I can see that I have a Cumulus asset handling set there, so if I use that one, I only have to set it in one place. It could be different per workflow as well, so if you don't want to do that, you could either select or type it in manually. Target file name, I don't want to change the file name, and I call it copied file. Notice that in my comments I always add some extra comment, so extra information, because it makes the script very readable. So I've copied the asset out, so now I'm storing the file name. You will notice, you will see why, and actually I'm going to store another part of it, and I'm going to say copy paste, and you will note I will store from that same path. I will say I'm going to store the folder name in which it resides, and I'm going to call it folder name. Target file name, no, this is target folder name. Okay, then the next thing is that I'm uploading the file, so I'm using the copied file. I have an FTP connection, and here at the bottom I can see that I have some more parameters to set, but my screen is a little bit too small, so I'll make it a little bit bigger. There you go. And what you can see is here I have the option to set a target folder. In this example I'm not going to do that yet. I have a target file name, and then I can say if I want to delete the file after the upload or not. In this case I am, because it's a temporary file from that temporary location. And then the next step is how can I test if it was successful? Well, this action did not have a result. It's not like you're downloading a file and as a result you end up with a file. No, you're pushing a file away to the FTP side, so, and maybe even optionally deleting the file that you're pushing, but so there is no output or result tag for this action. But if an error occurs, it will still store that error. And how does it store that error? Well, you leave the variable to test empty, and it will test if there's an error tag. And I called it test if error. And in case of an error, in my script, I'm writing upload failed to the log, and I'm setting a status value as failed. Well, I'm storing a status value in the text, and then I'm deleting the temporary file. If it didn't fail, test else, test, and I select test if error, then I'm writing that it was successful, and I'm setting in the end I'm storing the field value uploaded. And then finally, as last instruction, I'm doing both. I set the record field value for, in both cases, to the status value, which may be failed or uploaded. So that's basically the script. As you notice, this is a hot collection workflow, so the workflow itself will open the catalog, will do the query, and will offer the records to the workflow, so no need to open the catalog separately here or do the query or whatever. That's the basic functionality of the workflow. So I go to my Cumulus catalog, and in my catalog I can set to records to new. Yes, and here I want to set it to new, and yes, and now I'm going to show you the website. So here's the place where I am going to upload to. So I'm refreshing the screen, so there's nothing here. I'm going to my workflow and I can say start. It will temporarily copy the files to the logs folder, and so refresh, and it's still running. Refresh, and it's done. So in the log I can see that it found airplane, it uploaded the file successfully, it found a second record, balloon race, and it uploaded successfully. So if we check in the Cumulus catalog, we will see that the status is now set to uploaded, and the status is set to uploaded for that one as well. And in the FTP side, if I refresh the screen, you will notice that the two files are here. Okay, so I'm gonna delete them, and let's run the workflow again, but make a little change. I want here in the workflow to make to force an error. If you do not specify a target file name, if you leave that field empty, if you leave that field empty, it will give an error. So I'm putting this as no value, and if it has no value as a target file name, and I'm just going to set one to new. Here we go. And if I run the workflow now, I can say start. Refresh, and it's done. If I look in the log, I now can see that it gave me an error, an internal error, and then the nice one I added. So there was an error because there's no target file name. So let's go in and fix that, and in the meantime also set the target folder. So if you remember that I had here also stored the folder this file was residing in. This is just an example. You can have whatever subfolder you want to upload it to, but in this case that will be logs. Not the most useful folder, but I can have any text as a folder structure. It just needs to be separated by slashes, and then I can go here and I can say, first of all, I'm fixing back that I have the target file name, and here I'm selecting the target name, the target folder name. So if I do OK, if I run the workflow now, he will find nothing because he has put this status of this record to failed. So I'm going to put it to new, and now you can see here, if I refresh that, there's the balloon race. So he did upload it, but it had no target file name, so gave you that failure error. So I'm removing it and I'm running it again. There we go. Refresh. Done. Show log. The reason it failed is that not that the logs folder does not exist, but a path to a folder on FTP always has to start with a slash. So if we have a look here, we stored here a folder name, but the folder name of course doesn't contain a slash. What we need to do is add an instruction called store merge tags, for instance, which can merge the existing folder name and precede it with a slash. You can add some other stuff if you say I want to add, for instance, another subfolder called date time. Then it will create the logs folder, and inside the logs folder, for instance, a date time or some other information or another tag or stored text that you have. You never end with a slash, so it's beginning with a slash, but it doesn't have to end. So if I have date time, that might be an invalid folder format, so let's do datetime2, which returns a different result. Variable of second loop, so I store this under the same folder name, variable name, and I'm doing it like this, so my comment also reflects what I'm doing in this instruction. I'm going back here to the record. Of course it was set to failed, and now I'm going to say upload again, start. Go here to the FTP. As soon as it gets there, there's the logs folder, and there's the subfolder it created, and there's the balloon race file. So the folders do not need to exist, it can create them on the fly, but you need to start with the path to the folder with a slash. Just a quick reminder that this workflow only works in Cumulus 9.2. If you're running 9.1 and cannot upgrade to 9.2, contact me. Maybe there's a workaround. You can mail me at peter@go4flow.be. Thank you for joining this movie, and see you in the next one.